So
anyway, we have our guest on tonight. It's Bob Chapman from the International Forecaster. Bob has his own publication. It's a great publication, and it has just about everything you need to know to navigate through the tough times that we're facing. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here again.
hey, Bob, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Guy and I were just discussing I guess he was getting political phone calls already, asking a lot of personal questions about his voting and such by electronic data collection services. What do you think happens to all that information?
Well, first it goes into their database, and then they sell it. Number one client is the U.S. government.
See, Guy?
And they add that to the information they get on you from other sources like Facebook and Twitter, and and then they spy on you, so they pull stuff off your computer and all kinds of nice things. But it's just very common that something like that should happen in a corporate fascist society.
I hung up on him. I couldn't take it. I was angry. I couldn't take it. So I hung up on him.
All you have to do is say, I don't do that. Goodbye.
Right. So it was all out of it.
And then next time you get on a plane, you'll find out you're on their bad list.
I won't get a fly, huh?
Well, living in the United States today is a trip, I'll tell you.
Oh, definitely.
Especially at tax time.
Oh. No, that's pain. That's pain. That's not a trip. That's pain. A lot of it.
Too much to figure my taxes out this year, and that was with help.
Right.
That was with service.
What a disaster. What a disaster.
So, I have a few questions for you this week, Bob. Obviously, it's a kind of an exciting week for the United States in general, and in the markets and politically. First of all, your gut feeling on this whole thing with Osama bin Laden. Where did it come from, and why now? Well, if I could ask.
Well, first of all, the whole thing is a scam. It's a psyop, and Mr. bin Laden's been dead for 10 years. And the whole thing was a setup. And that's a matter of public record. You don't have to go to any secret place to find out about it. I just go back to 2007, and that's in yesterday's issue of the Forecaster. I have a tape of Mrs. Bhutto from India, who was a lifelong agent for the Central Intelligence Agency and at MI6 as well, and I know that for sure. And she came out and said that he get killed at the same time. Others said the same thing. Only she had standing as a former president of Pakistan, and I guess you'd call her a world traveler or something like that. But anyway, right after that, somebody tried to assassinate her unsuccessfully, and then they planted one in the middle of her head. And that's what happens when you open your mouth up.
Right.
Because they were planning something like this at least 3 or 4 years ago. And why did they do it? Well, I think they may be trying to use this as an excuse for a false flag event. And the main, I think, impetus was to help the president, whose ratings are abysmally low, and so that he could get elected next time around. And And so he is the one who gave the order to attack and find this cruel, wicked person and supposedly shoot him in the head twice. And I saw interviews from professionals who lived right next door. They said there was no shooting here. And then reporters went inside. There were no holes in the walls from errant bullets or anything like that. And so it is a scam. And it's just as big a scam as the situation with the certificate of live birth. I mean, the people who made that up either were donkeys or they wanted to look like it had been all messed up. For whatever reason, I don't know. But the point is that the information in both instances are bogus.
Okay.
And, you know, I talk to people all over the world, and the general consensus is that Americans are the dumbest people on the face of the earth. We are the laughing stock of the world. They can't believe that we would believe either of those things that happened. And the stature of America, particularly its leadership, has fallen dramatically, and it'll probably continue to fall.
Kind of a follow-up to this, Bob, and this is what's been bugging me since I heard this. Why Pakistan? Why was he? I mean, if the whole thing was a ruse, number one, was Pakistan aware of what was going to be said? And number two, do you think that Pakistan was caught off guard with it? And if they were, was it for some ulterior motive that it was done in Pakistan?
Well, I don't know that, but I do know that the Pakistanis are in bed with CIA and Mossad and have been for years. That's why they were given license to perfect atomic weapons and nuclear weapons. And so, you know, everybody involved inside had to know about it. They all knew about the murder of Benazir Bhutto. You have to understand how evil and diabolical these people are. I mean, as I look back over 55 years, when I used to work in counterintelligence and was recruited to be in the Central Intelligence Agency as NSA, who I work with frequently, and boy, am I glad I never did. I mean, these people are even 10 times worse than I thought they were. I mean, I've been watching this scene and closely, and I still got contacts, but my best contacts are now deceased. You know, that happens when you get old. But they go beyond. I mean, there's nothing that's forbidden. Nobody ever goes to jail, and they murder people out of hand and get away with it. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I've noticed that no matter how bad the issues become, no one goes to jail ever. You know.
Well, they're all part of the Illuminati. I mean, the CIA and the MI6 are both subsidiaries of the groups that run the world from behind the scenes. I mean, where do they recruit? The best colleges in America, and usually Wall Street and the City of London. You know, when I was in counterintelligence, the guys in the motor pool had 150 IQs. The guys I work with averaged about 170. And there were guys I was with that had 205s. I was way down in the ranking at 185.
That's pretty high.
Wow.
That's pretty high. 185.
In fact, the guy who recruited Benazir Bhutto at Harvard, which is Radcliffe, is the woman's division, so to speak. He was with me in counterintelligence. We lived together for 6 months in the same room. And he was very upset when they killed her. I mean, I thought he was going to go off the deep end. And how I know that is not only what I saw in the media. I got a touch of it, but I have a contact in the State Department who used to work with him and told me the whole story. And he's the one that told me that my publication is the most plagiarized in the world. And he said that when it's released, everybody who wants it in the Beltway has it, and every consulate and embassy of the United States in the world has it.
Well, definitely worth reading, I'll tell you that. It was pretty bizarre when I was watching these events unfold, and they were talking about the burial at sea, and then the whole wrangling on about not wanting to release any photos of the deceased Obama. And I thought, all we have at the end of the day here is just somebody's word.
And, when you know that government, and particularly the CIA and clandestine operations, are trained, I know I was there, are trained to lie about everything and get good at it.